What is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for tuning in. Little post-game show after the post-game show action. Um, Lakers win 112 to 111, the final score. So they just find a way to get by the Indiana Pacers. And the Lakers still, believe it or not, have a chance to go 3-2 on this road trip. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel if you guys don't mind. Finished post-game show number 1. We're on post-game show number 2. Got a few things I'm going to get into. Obviously, recording this one, and I'm going to throw it up on YouTube. Did not have the chance to do this this one live tonight. Okay. Lot to get into. First off, how did the Lakers win this game? Anybody have any idea how they won this game? If I'd have told you, if we were just looking at the stats, and I'd have told you, all right, guys, this is what's going to happen. The Pacers are going to be plus 30 from the three-point line on the Lakers. They were going to hit 10 more threes than the Lake Show. That they were going to have a lead for basically the entire game, go up by 15, and that the Lakers, in the entire 48 minutes, their largest lead would be just 2 points. That the Lakers would miss key free throws in the fourth quarter, but they were still going to find a way to beat Indiana Pacers. I think you would say, Al, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But they found a way to win this game. Not pretty, not exactly the blueprint. I don't think Darvin Ham in a month or so is going to say, hey, guys, remember how we beat the Indiana Pacers? That's how we should play every game. I don't think he's going to do that. But I'll tell you what it is. It's a win. And I don't like saying this because I actually enjoy talking when I talk Lakers basketball. I enjoy talking about how the details of it. I enjoy saying, hey, this is what I like the Lakers were doing, and this is what I dislike. When the Lakers win and you're desperate for wins, even though you know it's not a good W, what I mean by that is it's not a game that you look at and say, wow, that was really good basketball. You almost feel like I don't want to say they got away with one because they played good enough in the fourth quarter defensively that, they earned a win. It's just you're also aware that if they're playing a more quality opponent, that if Tyrese Halliburton, this was his first game back in, I think, 11 games, 10 games, something like that. Once he kind of gets going again and he has some time to get comfortable with his guys again, get his feet under him, this is probably not a win, but it's a W. So I don't want to be, ungrateful, and I don't want to be picky. But the Lakers just overall are going to have to play better basketball if they're going to get into the playoffs and if they're going to eventually find a way to be a part of the mix. So 112, 111, the final score. I'm looking at something just to make sure. Yep, Mavs did end up beating the Pelicans. So the NBA standings, at least for a quick second, is getting a little bit more interesting. The Lakers are now one game out of the play-in spot and have moved up to number 12. Watch out, everybody. 13 to 12. Thunder fell to 13, so Lakers are now in the 12th spot. All right, now to the details of the game. So AD ended up with 31 and 14, had the big block on Tyrese Halliburton, had 2 blocks in the game. This was his best game back since he's come back. And that doesn't mean Anthony Davis looks perfect out there. A lot of times I feel like he's kind of slowly getting himself back into playing form. Bron, this is twice since AD has come back where he didn't have to be the leading scorer and they still won the game. I think they did that against the Spurs. But Bron had 26 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. He had a couple of big buckets, hit the big 3 to put the Lakers up, got to the free throw line, hit a couple free throws late. So LeBron did what he's supposed to do, 11 of 19 from the field. Then I thought everything else was a little bit more interesting. Rui got a chance to start, which I'm a fan of. I like the size. I want Rui in to start games. And I'd also like Rui to end games as well. But Darvin Ham decided that he was going to put Russ in, I think, in the final, 5 minutes or so. So kind of rolled the dice there. And to be honest with you, if it didn't work out, everyone would be talking about Why did Russ come back in? Russ was 2 of 16 from the field tonight. 2 of 16 from the field. But did have 10 assists, also had 4 turnovers. So it certainly was not the offensive night that you're looking for from him. My problem with Russ is this, and I get it. People say, hey, if the shot's not falling, you got to keep shooting. Well, what if you're not a shooter? What if you're not a guy that's known for hitting outside buckets? What if the Indiana Pacers are purposely letting you shoot those shots? I get it. Yeah, but then, once you start, if it breaks your confidence, this, that, I understand that. The shot's not falling. All right, try to get to the free throw line. Try to be a little bit more aggressive into the basket. Try to get some easy looks, some easy buckets. That would be my advice there. The backcourt for the Lakers. So for the Lakers to close out the game, they went LeBron, AD, Dennis Schroeder, Patrick Beverly, and Russ was the final guy. Dennis Schroeder, I'm a fan of having in at the end of games. I think he's enough of a offensive weapon where he could be out there. He's also a pest on defense, as is Patrick Beverly. So they had those two guys doing what they were doing. And Pat Bev, I'm not saying every game I want him in at the end, but tonight you knew that he was having some type of an effect. His defense was solid in the fourth quarter. Lakers only gave up 15 points in the fourth quarter. They walked into the fourth down 11, down 12, something like that, and then they outscored them by 13 in the fourth quarter, 28-15. Pat Bev had a lot to do with that. He had a big three for the Lakers. He had 3 steals. He had 2 block shots. Pat Bev was everywhere all over the place on defense. But when they needed a free throw, he didn't hit it. He missed both free throws. And you guys remember, he missed a key free throw against the Boston Celtics as well, and had a key foul against Jaylen Brown against the Boston Celtics. So you want to see Pat Bev be a little bit more clutch in those situations, because teams are going to continue. If they start noticing that, hey, you're uncomfortable in late game situations, they're definitely going to put you in a lot of late game situations. So I thought overall for the Lakers, playing from behind the entire night is obviously not ideal. They played 3 quarters of basketball that was incredibly average to below average. And then they played a solid fourth quarter where they were locking down on defense. And, Indiana Pacers started feeling the pressure. When it was a 10-point lead, it's different than when it's 6 and you need a bucket and you don't get one. And the Lakers come back, it's 4. You could tell that they were feeling that pressure, and Lakers certainly made them feel that pressure. Pacers were at one point 4th place in the Eastern Conference, and now they're just kind of plummeting in the standings. But they had lost, I think now they've lost 10 of their last 11, but they're plummeting simply because Tyrese Halliburton was not there, and Halliburton comes back. That dude is a baller. Give that man some credit, because to come back and you haven't played 10, 11 games, he was 26 points, 12 assists, a couple of steals as well. He's super young, played 36 minutes. He's a fun player to watch. They got a real deal point guard there in Tyrese Halliburton. All right, I think that pretty much covers this game. Again, like I said, I don't like the way the Lakers are starting games. I hate how they dig themselves a hole. It wasn't a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, but when the dust settled, Lakers somehow found a way to get a win. Now, if they're playing a better quality opponent, they probably don't win this game, but they're 2-2 now on this 5-game road trip, and they got 1 game left to close this thing out. And the team that they're playing to close this thing out is a Pelicans team that is at the 10th place. They're inside that. They're currently sitting at 10. So they have lost 10 games in a row, have the Pelicans. They're plummeting in the standings. It's primarily because Zion has been out, but damn, 10 games in a row. That's crazy to see them fall as fast as they fall. They were in, I think, 2nd before when Zion was still there, and now they're just it's a complete free fall for the Pelicans. So I don't know where they're going to be by the time Zion comes back. How much more time does Zion have out? I think he's out for a couple more months or a couple more weeks. He'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks, and that was 8-9 days ago. So he's going to be reevaluated in the next probably 7-8 days or so. I mean, they are just plummeting in the standings. that game becomes so critical on Saturday because if the Lakers can win that game, Portland's still in front of the Lakers, so it could be Portland that goes up to the number 10 spot. But if they could beat the Pelicans, then all of a sudden the Lakers have a legitimate chance to be sitting in that number 10 spot. And I don't know the last time they've been over that line to be at number 10. Yeah, Blazers are at Wizards coming up at some point here. Then Lakers play the Pelicans. They're exactly one game behind them. So it becomes a big game. I don't know if you guys saw this, but they changed the game time for the game on Saturday. So it was supposed to be a 5 o'clock tip off. It's now 3 o'clock. They're going to air the game on ESPN2. It's going to be nationally televised. I'm sure part of that is because, tracking LeBron James and where he is to the scoring title. So LeBron currently 63 points away. If LeBron has one of those nights where he puts up 30 or 35 or 40 or something along those lines, then there's a good chance it's probably going to happen against the Oklahoma City Thunder coming up on Tuesday. I'm sure it'll be nice for everybody to kind of get past that, give LeBron his love, have that happen at crypto, and then see what happens from there. And Lakers can kind of start shifting all their attention towards trying to make that playoff pursuit. Laker fans, your thoughts on the show? I'm sorry, your thoughts on the game? Your thoughts on the Lakers kind of squeaking out the win, 112-111, the final score, like I mentioned. Would love your comments, your thoughts, anything that you have on this game. So, how many games left before the NBA All-Star break? I'm going to do this one real quick, and then I want to hit on Anthony Davis not making the All-Star break. So, Lakers now have 6 games left before the break. Oh, let me tell you, Laker fans, not going to lie, kind of looking forward to that break. So, 6 games left. The 6 games that the Lakers have left, they got the Pelicans coming up on Saturday, the Thunder coming up on Tuesday, the Bucks coming up on Thursday, at Golden State, at Portland, the Pelicans again. So they'll play the Pelicans here a couple times before the All-Star break. And then we're at 24 games left before the season ends. So you guys have heard me bark about this road trip. You got to go 3-2. And I said you got to go 6-4 in this. And this was before the road trip started. By the time you get to the All-Star break, you needed to go 6-4. If they're able to do that and still accomplish that, then they'll be one game within 500. And one game within 500 probably has you in the playing tournament. And I know there's still 24 games left. There's still a lot of time. But I think that build a little bit of momentum for the Lakers, that they would put themselves in a position where you could get to the break. Anthony Davis can get right. Austin Reeves can get right. These guys all can get right. Austin Reeves might play on Saturday, by the way. And you kind of go into this final push. So they're 2-2 so far, and they got 6 games left to go. They got to go 4-2 in these final 6, just from my perspective, what they have to do, which means you get 2 losses somewhere. You could get 1 loss in Milwaukee or against Milwaukee. You can get another loss at the Golden State Warriors. I'm using those as the 2. Beat the Pelicans twice, who have lost 10 games in a row. Beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, who obviously are struggling. Not actually, I'm sorry, they're not struggling, but it's a home game against a team that's below you in the standings. And then you got the Portland Trailblazers left, who are actually playing better basketball. So they look like they're kind of starting to find a little bit of a better hold. They've won 2 games in a row. I want to say they beat 2 good teams. Who'd they beat? Yeah, they beat the Grizzlies and the Hawks. One of those games was at Memphis. So give the Portland Trailblazers some credit there. So they announced the All-Stars. Anthony Davis, not an All-Star. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. So you're going to tell me Anthony Davis just is going to take some time off, rest up, be with his family, and then get ready for that final stretch? Cool. Sounds good. I got no issues with that. Listen, I'll also tell you this. I don't think AD played enough games to be in the All-Star game. So if you're giving that to somebody else because, that player played 40 games or something along those lines, cool. I'm not a big, the All-Star game doesn't really do anything for me. I don't think of it one way or the other. It's cool, but when a player's not in it, do I think the Lakers should have two Lakers in the NBA All-Star game and they're 3 games below 500? I don't. Bron deserves to be in the All-Star game. Bron's played enough games. I don't think Anthony Davis has. So I got no issues with it at all that Anthony Davis is not a part of that mix. Um, Ultimately, I think, we're going to look at this Lakers team and nobody's going to care whether he was in the All-Star game or not. They're going to care how many of the final 30 games did AD play. That's going to be most important. And if the Lakers are in position for a playoff run. A lot of rumors around the Lakers right now too. You're hearing all these different names. You're hearing Gary Trent Jr., you're hearing Fred Van Vliet, you're hearing OG Anunoby. I know that's just all the same team. Charlotte might be sellers. Uh, we'll see what happens, Laker fans. I still think a move might happen, and my hope is that the Lakers at least end up with a shooter. They're not desperately, but you got to have shooters. You got to have people that can spread the floor in the NBA. They certainly can use one of those. Okay, Laker fans, that's all I got. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. We'll get this up. We'll be back on Saturday after the Lakers take on the Pelicans. Thank you for being a part of the show. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Lakers get a win over the Indiana Pacers, 112 to 111. If you guys want to leave where you're tuning in from, leave it on the comments below. Please subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night.